Mark of the Maker by Sharon K. Angelici. Read for you by Jen Tidwell. Dedication. For my husband, my daughter, and my son, you inspire me. I'm grateful for the minutes, days, and years with you, living this adventure called life. For my Aussie family, including our rescued greyhound fur babies, we get through all of this together. For my parents, thank you for making adventure a real part of my childhood and for encouraging me to become exactly who I was meant to be. For the magic makers at Write with Light, thank you for all of your support. For Hill, the late night messages and notes in the margins make stories and songs come together. Thanks for all of them. Chapter 1. Discovery. I was 6 years old the first time they caught me running wild through the woods. My feet were calloused and bare, and it was one of the few times I remember feeling like I belonged. I recall with great clarity the waving finger after, but there was no real punishment. Social services removed me from that home a week later. No one cared. Wisdom at 6 was a survival instinct. It came from a place I didn't understand, but when I was quiet and very still, something I couldn't define was always pulling me in the right direction. I saw adventure everywhere, but in reality, mine was a world I wanted to escape. When it came to the whispering calls of the earth, I would discover that I had the wisdom of 1,000 crones. They called me Wildwood, although I didn't know why. Before I could read, I'd learned to find serenity in the howl of the wind. As a child in foster care, I lived with the uncertainty of an adult world shuffling me to unchosen places. Putting my hands to the earth reminded me that touching it, letting it fall between my fingers, I'd always understand where I belonged. I, the adult Wildwood Blackstone, barely existed on paper when I turned 18. I believed I didn't matter to anyone. That's how I felt aging out of the system. There was no safety net. I didn't have choices like most, but I loved working with my hands. I always believed my origin story was a horrible cliché. In reality, there was no actual record.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?